Recently Manny Pacquiao said, he agreed to a 55-45 split. Any concessions as far as drug testing, said he'll do whatever kind of testing, including the day of the fight and that kind of thing. Still, it appears there's going to be no fight, at least as of right now. Your thoughts on that? And, it's kind of turned the tide in a lot of people's opinions as far as them thinking, okay, well, now that Manny's given in, why is Floyd not wanting to fight? So some people are saying that he is scared or doesn't want to fight. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, it's definitely not about Floyd being scared, or it was never about Floyd being scared or Manny being scared, to be honest. But at the end of the day, if I do way more numbers than you, I'm going to be the one that's going to be dictating. You're not going to dictate, and you're just coming off of a loss. How are you going to dictate anything to me?
But that's the thing, though, is that Floyd already did dictate that, and Manny gave in. Before it was 50-50 split, the drug testing. Well, Floyd's side dictated the financial terms and the drug testing. So now that Manny's conceded, Floyd's side already did dictate it. So how is Manny now dictating something?
Oh, Manny's conceded. Manny's conceded because Manny just lost. Whether he lost for real or not, Manny's been devalued. So no, Manny shouldn't even consider even asking for 50-50 or even 45. He has to take whatever Floyd give him.
So is that what you're saying the hang-up is now? Is still the money split? Because like I said, going back, he's not dictating anything. He's given in. And certainly I can see where if he thought 50-50 before, certainly now 45% coming off the losses, obviously. But so what keeping it now?
No, but you're saying he's giving in, but he's not giving in. He's not giving in when a guy asks for, basically just a 5% more split when he just lost. Not only did he just lose, he just lost, and plus, not only that, he doesn't come close to the number that Floyd do. So, basically, at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's the bottom line. The bottom line is that if I do more numbers than you, and not only that, I've been undefeated for 16 years, and, I've been the most dominant fighter on the planet for the last 16 years. I got to be the one to call the shots. Because realistically, like I said, there was a time when Manny actually, the fight was negotiated, and Manny was happy to take whatever Floyd gave him. And Floyd offered him $40 million. And yeah, and Manny decided he didn't want to take that. But that was behind the scenes. He wanted to take it. But when Bob Arum got involved, of course, Bob Arum flipped everything and turned it into, a war of, 50-50. It had to be 50-50. But and it shouldn't be 50-50, even if, just because of the fact that the numbers they do. Don't get me wrong, Manny had a seriously hot run. But Manny haven't done nothing worthwhile since the fight with Shane Mosley.
All right, so now basically, we've heard from Leonard Ellaby basically saying, that like you said, Manny's not going to dictate the terms, but we haven't heard them come back with something to say what's going to take to get the fight done. So what is it going to take now, in your opinion?
Well, basically
60-40.
Yeah, the fight is going to be made. If Manny isn't with Bob come the end of the year, the fight's going to be made.
Yeah.
It's that simple. The fight's going to be made, and don't get me wrong, Manny may get more than he was going to get. He's not going to get 50-50, of course, but he probably get more than $40 million.
Right. Now Larry Merchant was on First Take this morning with Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, and basically it said, he doesn't think that Floyd's scared, scared or anything, and he thinks that, he would definitely be a favorite against Manny, but that he's more worried, and this is what a lot of people say, that he's more worried about, the 0 losses in his record. My contention is, it's certainly understandable if you have 0 losses, especially when you get in the, the tail end of your career like Floyd, you certainly got to start considering wanting to finish your career undefeated, since so few have done it. But my thing is even if he finishes with no losses, if he never fights Manny, I think that's going to override the 0 losses, whether he would have won or lost that fight. Do you think that's a huge concern? I mean, I think everybody admits that it's a concern of him. You know, he wants to be undefeated, but how do you think 0 losses would affect his career and his legacy if he did never fight Manny?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think that it'll have an effect on his legacy, of course, because I mean, at one point in time, I mean, you know, it'll always be a question of who would have won, and you know, and why the fight didn't happen. When you had two guys that basically in their prime and were in the 2 hottest commodities in the sport at the same time, but you know, never faced one another. You know, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I think it'll be a question mark, you know, as a part of Floyd's legacy. But at the end of the day, I mean, Floyd doesn't necessarily mean Manny. I mean, but this will be, you know, this will be the stamp of approval that, you know, basically says that, you know, you were the best, completely the best fighter of your era and your generation. You know, and I mean, and so in that sense, I mean, it is important.
All right. Now let me ask you this. You know, I don't even happen to think that at this point in his career that Manny presents the greatest challenge to Floyd. In your opinion, of anyone out there that's a conceivable fight for him right now, who do you think would pose the greatest threat to him? Whether it be, you know, a Canelo, Sergio Martinez, a Manny. You know, whoever. Who do you think would actually, at this point, pose the greatest threat for him?
Of the 3, I would say...
Or of anyone. I just threw a couple names out there. Of anyone that he could conceivably fight, you know, that could possibly a fight be made, who would you think would be the most difficult?
At this point, I would have to say probably Martinez, and that would only be because of the weight. You know, but I mean, if they were to fight at 154 pounds, no, we wouldn't have a problem. We wouldn't have a problem with Martinez either. You know, but I mean, of course, he's not going to fight Martinez at 60. Well, he's not even 154 pounder. Well, 147 pounder. It just happens to have the talent enough to go up and win titles at that weight.
Right.